Hello, y'all on YouTube. This is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special review impressions of a knife I've had in my collection since, well, Blade Show, Texas. And I've really enjoyed this knife. So let's talk about the Rob Johnsons Cedar. All right, today I'm looking at the Rob Johnsons Cedar for review impressions. I've had this knife in my collection for a little bit. Really enjoy this knife. It is really cool. This is made by a guy named Nicholas, or Nicholas, but it's Nicholas. He's out of Latvia and makes these custom knives. Matter of fact, he also does a Cypress version 3, I believe it is. It might be coming in. I might have one order. But this one is I thought when I bought it, I thought it was a Vanek Super Clean because that's what I thought we were talking about and what he said. And when I got this home, it's actually it was the RWL34, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, it's fine. I do like the knife a lot anyways. I just was kind of bummed that it wasn't that one. Because there was other ones there I would have picked, right? But still a cool knife. This is the black titanium anodization that's done on this thing. So let me start off. The knife name is this is the Cedar. The knife manufacturer is Rob Johnsons Knives, which is out of Latvia. And then you have the designer is Nicholas. He's the owner of the company. He's the one who makes the knives. So he's the one who designed this knife. And I met him at Blade Show, Texas. Really nice guy. I did an interview. Have it posted up. I might have it here. If not, it's over on Instagram. All right. So the known materials: titanium scales, titanium milled deep pocket carry clip, RWL34 blade steel, which is milled, and it's got the step milling pattern, which is really fantastic. We'll talk about that in a second. It is a frame block. It does have a steel bar insert over travel stop. He does his black anodization on this, which is really cool. T8 hardware all the way around, diamond pattern. I love that. So all that's really nice, right? Super awesome, super crisp kind of knife. I love how he does the milling on the blade. You can kind of see that right there, the step milled. You can feel it. It's very light, it's very gentle, and it looks a lot more aggressive than it really is, but it cuts through very nicely. It really does. It works really well. Got a little dust on my knife here because I use my knives. Guess what? Every knife I own, I use. So there you go. Action's beautiful. That RWL34 can be polished up nicely. You have this beautiful middle finger thumb hole reverse flick. I put my thumb hole in there, flick it that way. Then you've got a flipper that works right here. Just make sure your fingers aren't on the lock bar, because it tends to be a little kind of iffy if your fingers are on the lock bar. But it works really nicely otherwise, because it's a pretty hidden flipper. It's not very easily accessible. Now, I will say one thing. I have a few things that I did to this knife to make it enjoyable and not frustrating. And I would love to see if Nicholas would ever entertain fixing a few of these things. One is the clip. The clip was super crazy sharp. So you can see how it's lost some of the black titanium. I had to do that. It was just too sharp. It was cutting me. It was uncomfortable. I got scratched. I got cut a few times. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to stop carrying this and want to sell it if I don't fix that. So I like this knife a lot, so I fixed it. That's the first thing. The other thing was there was a little edge here. I had to sand this down. That was surprising as well. That was really sharp under here and here. So I don't know if you can see it. You can probably see some of the exposed stuff right there because I had to sharpen that. As well, it was a little sharp right underneath here in this little spot right there. You can see where I polished that. That caught my finger and that caught my finger. So it's kind of surprising. A couple of sharp edges that really, I don't know, it was kind of a bummer they were there, right? But they were. And once I fixed them, it made it a whole lot better. It does have Skiff Caged Bearings already in there. That's what Nicholas uses, the Skiff, and he ordered them directly from Steve, which I'm glad. I don't have to worry about swapping them out. I don't know if these are custom or there's something different, but but they're nice. They are, I think they're let's say 5mm 12 ball count, the new one that he came out with where he went from 11 to 12. Anyways, it is a captive pivot, which I really like. You can see the Rob Johnson's little tree with the cedar, nice little logo on there. The texture is really cool. It is really cool all the way around. Action's nice. You clear the detent right there once you drop right there and it catches on your thumb. Don't go too far because it can get guillotined, but if you catch right there, you're perfectly fine. It's just really nice. It's always nice to have a knife like this to be able to carry when you want something just a little bit nicer in your pocket, right? So that's what I enjoy about this knife right here. Yeah, I mean, also crowned, almost a crown spine. It feels like a swedge, but I'm not sure if it's a credge, like a crown and the swedge together. I don't know. We're making up words. Why not? It does look like it's a drop point, to traditional drop point as far as the blade shape. That's what I'm seeing. It does have a little dip right here where your hands can go in. There's some jimping. Jimping's really kind of pointless. It has really no texture of any kind. You can maybe feel where your hand should be. That's about it. It doesn't really prevent you from sliding and moving around. It's pointless pretty much, but it does tell you where to put your finger. I guess that's good. Action's beautiful. Love it. Open and closing. Like I said, you got to be careful touching that lock bar, or else it's really hard to use the flipper. The flipper needs a little extra leverage and no resistance to be able to get out. And it gets out pretty well. Just make sure if your finger or anything's on there, it will get stuck. So keep that in mind. All right, so what else? How it opens, how it closes, the blade, we talked about that. RWL34, which is kind of like an LMAX or CPM 154, kind of powdered version, so it's nice. Let's do some measurements. Let's see how much this guy weighs. All right, I'm going to guess about 4.5 ounces. I don't know. 4.2 ounces. So 4.2 ounces, that's what we're talking about right here. And 4.2 ounces, let's see, where's the center? Looks like center's about right there, which is close to where I grip it. Might choke up a little bit, but it does feel pretty balanced right there. You could, nice thing about this, you can choke up like this, right? It does allow, so big extra room here for big meaty fingers and hands and stuff. So that's nice. It does allow for that. I think that's cool. All right, so let's do the overall measurements. I think we're right at 8 inches or a little bit above, maybe 8.5. I don't know. It's a big boy. It is just shy of 8.5. It's about 32. Let's do 1532. 1530 seconds. That's literally where it is. 1530 seconds. So just shy of 8.5 inches. How about that? Overall grip length, if you go in here, it's about 4 inches. If you choke up and use the whole area, you got 4 3/4. So that's a pretty good amount. From the tip to the back of the handle, you're looking at about 3 5/8, maybe. Yeah, maybe just under 3 1/4. Overall cutting length, you're looking at 3 5/8. Yep. So pretty long blade. I mean, it's got a lot of reach. It's not a short knife. It's a pretty full size knife. I like that. All right, let's look at the blade stock thickness. We're looking at 125 thousandths of an inch. So 125 thousandths of an inch, which is not bad. Not bad at all. It's a pretty good amount of width. It's not super thin. It's not super thick like a Medford and stuff like that, but it's definitely great. It's full flat, not full flat, but it's a flat grind. It does stop short up here, but it's a flat grind with step milling, which is really nice. Nice polished edge, came in like that, pretty sharp, strops up really nicely, which is nice with RWL34. I do like that. I don't know where we're, I don't know if he did extra polish or what, but I was supposed to get the Vanek Super Clean, which is what I was bummed about, but that's okay. I should have checked the box when I got it and gotten the right one, but still like it, still love it, still great knife, still fantastic. So really, really, really blessed. Really good knife to have in your collection. I like it. If the aesthetics speak to you, you're going to enjoy this, right? You need to keep that in mind. It's all about the aesthetics that speak to you. All right, so what is the budget for this knife? Is it a budget knife? No. Is it a regular? No. Is it a higher end? No, it's above that. Is it a custom mid-tech? Yes, it's absolutely that. You can call it, if you think custom is all forge, you build your own fire, you own kiln, you hammer it out. It's not custom. I don't think that's custom. I think custom can be with CNC. So they have a new category, I believe, in Blade Show West that they introduced. It was called custom with CNC assist or machine assist. Prince Customs, my Proteon that I got, he won the Blade one with that knife in this year's Blade Show Award for Blade Show West. I thought that was cool. So I can definitely see what this is. I can't consider it custom, so that's where I'm coming from, and that's why I think it's custom mid-tech. A knife like this is going to run between $700 and $800 with the extra anodization stuff. If you wanted the Vanek Super Clean and all this, you can get up to $900, over $1,000. It definitely can get expensive. This particular one, I think at Blade Show, I only paid $700 for it, which is a really good deal. At Blade Show, I think normally it'd be about $780, maybe more. So typically Blade Show, you get maybe a $50, $30, $25, $50 kind of discount. It all depends how badly they want to move their stuff. Sometimes they have stuff that sells right away, so there's no reason for them to discount it, right? Because for every one of me that wants the knife, there's going to be 10 other people who want it, and if I'm willing to start bartering, the 10 people behind me will buy it immediately. So there you go. But this is definitely, I feel, a good value for what you get. It's all hand done. his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, they're all knife makers, so it's part of his history. And he taught himself how to use the CN machine and how to do the black anodized titanium and stuff like that. So I thought that was all really cool. All right, what's the overall feel, the overall design? How do I feel about it? So it's comfortable. It's comfortable like this. It comfortable works choking up. Now you are a little grip inside, but usually for a specific reason, right? But it is comfortable here. It feels like a nice, big, long knife. The step milling doesn't really mess up the cutting or the slicing performance. I find it actually works really nicely. I like there's a little cutout here. Kind of feels like pretty natural in the grip as you're holding it. I like the frame lock. It does have a steel bar over travel stop insert, which is nice. It's a little sharp here. It would be a nice little softer. Wish that I didn't have to have filed that down, which is kind of a bummer, right? Just like having to have to file that down and then file that down and then file that down. All those things I wish they were done ahead of time. And if it was plain titanium, I wouldn't really notice it as much. Unfortunately, this is black anodized, so everything stands out when I do something like that. But I was willing to do it because I figured after a while this would wear in and it just looked kind of natural. And so, you know, we'll let it go. Just a bummer. But yeah, overall feel opening is nice. The thumb hole, a fuller hole, whatever you want to call it, works great with the thumb, reverse flick. The flipper works really nice. So it's nice when it's our turn. When it's my turn on my left hand to flip it, you can flip it just as well. I don't know what I was thinking. Suddenly I had a thought about something else completely went into my brain as I'm going through this. And so I don't know where that came from. I was thinking two different things at one time. Welcome to the life and the mind of a nerd and an ADHD guy. So there you go. And I'm genuinely ADHD. So I'm actually got tested on the spectrum. If I wasn't treated, I would be a 10-10-10. And you probably, I would make Cole from Tri-State EDC look calm. I'll just leave it at that. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. Anyways, that's why I'm very sympathetic, and I totally understand where he's coming from. I have no problems there. But there you go. Very, very cool opening, closing, deploying. To me, I really enjoy it. It's nice. Just got to be careful with that flipper. Got to make sure you don't put any weight on that, which is a little bit of a bummer. I wish it wasn't so sensitive, but you know, it is. And it kind of sticks out a little bit, so you know, it's easy to sometimes get your finger on there and it kind of messes up. But it, you know, it's better than any other things I've ever seen. So I like it. And you can easily go up here like this, work it. You can easily go up here. Works nicely. So I don't really have a problem with it. All right, so overall handle, opening, closing. There's no lanyard hole, which I'm perfectly fine with. Clip goes nicely in and out. It's got good flexibility. It was a little sharp. Like I said, I knocked that down. I had to. Textures, the diamond pattern, it's really nice. I do enjoy that. I like that a lot. The flipping's nice, the texture on there. Now, like I said, I wish he put more texture. I wish he'd add extra lines. It's just a little bit of jimping around would go a long way. Really make this really nice. And you don't feel like you're always slipping off like that. And it's not much to add, just a little bit, just a little drill there, a little there, a little there. Just go around. I know a lot of people do it with some of their other flippers. I think like, yeah, even here on the Leon Ma right here, the GSD, it has the jimping that goes all the way around. It would just be nice if it did like that. So just, you're not at the very tip sometimes and you just slide right off and it digs in. You know, it kind of does a little poke on your skin instead of getting texture and gripping it and ripping it open, right? Yeah, there you go. Overall feel is great. Opening, closing is great. The action is beautiful. Control drop shut. I do love that. Once you clear that, it's butter. It's butter. It closes nicely. Just got to clear that detent. There we go. So now we're cleared right there. It does have a ramp, and it's a pretty wide ramp, so it gets in there pretty nicely, and you can actually see that as it goes in. So see how it goes up slowly, and then it goes down. So you see that? Anyways, nice. I think it's good. So overall fidget factor. It's got a nice flipper. It's got a nice thumb hole. Got a nice reverse thumb hole with the left hand. Sorry, that works well. Really don't have anything else, but those two executed well. I'm gonna give it a 4. The thumb hole does really well, but the flipper doesn't give it a whole lot extra. I would love to give this a 5, but it fails more times than not because of this. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, a 4. Yeah, I'll give it a 4. That's what I'm gonna stick with, a 4. So out of that 4, what does it get? The reverse and thumb flicking, reverse middle finger flicking is outstanding. All that. If it was just that, it would be 100. But because of the flipper, it loses some points. So I'm going to give it a 95. It's going to be a solid A. You do lose 5 points for the flipper. There's just a couple of things that could go a long way, you know? So, and there's a few other things in the knife. I mean, if you were to ask me right now, what are the things you would change in this knife? If I were to custom order one of these, and he could do this for me, the thing I would ask is for the jimping all the way around that. Just, it doesn't even have to be subtle. It can come right to the very edge, just enough as you get something there, right? The other thing I would ask for is the little details of these things just to be softened out so they're not digging into you. Because they do. Especially if you have anodization, you can see it kind of push things out. So it exposed those parts to me, which is not comfortable. And so she had to deal with, you know, when you're dealing with this all day long, it starts to get at you, right? But if I took care of it like I did with sanding it, it's fine. It just takes away from the black anodization, which more and more I wish I didn't have it, right? But I still like it. I still think it looks great. That's why the next one I ordered, which is not the same knife, it's the cedar, the cypress, sorry, the cypress. It's going to be a plain Jane one. All right, so 4. What is the fidget goodness? A, I said, is it recommended? Absolutely, it's recommended. I love this knife. I think it's fantastic. I have it in my collection. It's definitely one of my grails, one of the knives that I really enjoy, and I think I'm going to keep enjoying. Would I sell this? I mean, only if it came out with some of those things that I suggested and were fixed and things were a little different, then maybe I might entertain replacing it with that. But otherwise, I love this knife. I think it's just great. Really fantastic design. Love everything about it. So yeah, absolutely recommend it. Let's take a quick look at this before we sign off, so you can get a nice look at that step milling. You can see the details of that step milling. You can see it right there, up and down. Then you can see the titanium, black anodized titanium, minimal screw there, captive pivot over there. The texture is really nice. Look at the top. There's the back spacer, and then you have the top of the knife, a little jimping. It's very, very mediocre, very inadequate, right? So that works nicely. And then we can look at the back side here, and that's where we see like the little polished area where I had to get rid of that, so it did poke me. You can see a little bit of polishing right up here where it poked me. You can see it polishing right here, and then a little polishing right there. All those things allow it just to be more comfortable. There's the pivot T8, hidden hardware for the screw for the clip, which is nice. The lock bar is covered up at this time, so there you go. And then we have the step mill on the back side. You can see I use it. RWL34, which is like CPM 154. Which I don't know. I think RWL34 might be nicer. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. But very, very cool. All right, so there's all of that. So let's zoom out. Let's get our little thumbnail picture right here. So there we go. Get a nice shot for that. What do y'all think? It's a beautiful, beautiful knife. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it too. So there you go. All right, let's do the back side so you guys can see that. Kind of get a nice view of that. I think it looks cool. Yeah. All right. All right, so here is the Rob Johnsons Cedar. And it actually comes in the cedar box, by the way. It's really cool when you get these. You get it in the cedar box. I wonder if the cypress is going to come in the cypress box. I assume so. But there you go. That is the Rob Johnsons Cedar. I do really enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. In spite of the few things that I touched up, just because I like to have it comfortable and those things matter. So yeah, I think it's really cool. I really do enjoy carrying this knife. Like I said, I recommend it. I think I think you could do far worse. It's a really good high-end kind of a, you know, custom mid-tech kind of knife to start off with. All right. If you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting that subscribe button down below? Subscribing and liking the channel really helps out the channel. Allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who likes the videos, who enjoys the content, who's part of the comments, the live stream chat, the live stream, the whole community. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And yeah, just know that. Also, as a way for me to say thank you to all channel members, I do 2 exclusive things. You've been so generous with me, I want to be generous back to you. So I do a once a month members giveaway. Usually it's a nicer knife. It's not just a budget banger that I try to give away each week. So keep an eye out for that if you're a member, or if you want to be a member, something to think about. The other thing is I also I give all brand new channel members a channel sticker and a little thank you note. So if you're a brand new channel member and you haven't gotten asked for a channel member sticker yet, email me with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a little note and a little thank you. right? It's my way just to say I appreciate you. So if any of that sounds cool, sounds interesting, there's a link below down in the description for 3 different tiers. Would love to have you. Don't feel obligated. Please don't do it if you don't want to. But if you do, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. You allow me to do things way sooner than I ever thought I'd be able to do. And I mean that. I really mean that. Thank you. All right. If you haven't already, check me out on Instagram over at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.